Netflix, a global titan, about 270 million users from almost every country on this planet, just sitting on their couches, clicking that next episode button. It didn't just grow, it became a cultural phenomenon that completely reshaped how we eat, sleep, and breathe entertainment. But if we go back to the year 2000, Netflix was a mess. They were a struggling startup in California, losing money. They were basically a burning pile of cash. Their only hope to stay alive, selling the whole thing to the king of movies.
Every big story usually starts with the people behind it, and Netflix had the ultimate odd couple. Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings. Mark was basically born for this. He is the great-grandnephew of Sigmund Freud, yeah, that Freud, and the nephew of Edward Bernays, who literally invented the modern PR. Because of his family, Mark knew a secret. People don't just buy products, they buy feelings. Then you have Reed. He was a math guy. He even taught math in Africa for the Peace Corps. To him, the world wasn't just a bunch of people. It was a giant math problem to be solved. His first company, Pure Software, taught him a hard lesson. Working harder isn't a real plan. You need a better system. When they carpooled to work, Mark would pitch Reed hundreds of dumb ideas. I'm talking custom shampoo, dog food, even custom baseball bats. They were just looking for anything that would stick. Their collaboration was born not from genius, but from a cheap, simple experiment. Reed found the ultimate bug, a $40 late fee at Blockbuster. He was so annoyed, and he called Mark. He didn't want to build a store. He wanted a way to mail movies using math. They wondered, could a DVD actually survive the mail? Instead of writing a 50-page business plan, they just did a cheap test. They bought a used CB, put it in a 32-cent envelope, and mailed it to Reed's house. The next morning, it arrived perfectly fine. That 32-cent test started a billion-dollar company. Their motto became, nobody knows anything. Don't just plan, go out there and see what happens. They finally launched Netflix in 1997. At first, they just rented one movie at a time, but everyone hated late fees. So they tried something new, a subscription. Pay one price, rent whatever you want, no due dates. That was the game changer. By 2000, they were doing okay, but they weren't huge. They were just the mail order movie guys. And they were running out of money fast. So, in September 2000, Mark and Reed chartered a private plane and flew to the Renaissance Tower in Dallas, Texas, the corporate headquarters of Blockbuster. Now, let's talk about the giant Wayne Huizenga, the man who built Blockbuster into a beast. He didn't care about the movies, he cared about scale. This guy was a legend, the only person to build 3 different Fortune 500 companies. He started with one garbage truck in the 60s and turned it into waste management. Then he did the same thing with cars at AutoNation. His trick was simple. Find a bunch of small mom-and-pop shops, buy them all, and turn them into a national powerhouse. He did the exact same thing with VHS tapes. His rule was physical dominance. If there's a store on every corner, you win. Blockbuster became a part of life. Friday night meant a trip to the blue and yellow store. But Wayne was worried. He saw digital movies and cable TV coming. He knew his store on every corner plan had an expiration date. So he sold the company to Viacom in 1994 for a whopping $8.4 billion. By the year 2000, Blockbuster was making $6 billion a year. They had 60,000 employees and 9,000 stores. That means they were opening a new store every 17 hours. That's when Mark and Reed walked into the room. They were meeting the new CEO, John Antioco. Reed made the pitch: buy Netflix for $50 million. You run the stores, we'll run the website. The room went quiet. Antioco looked at them. He looked at their .com business model, and he didn't laugh. Yet, he thought about it. And what if? He says, all right, let's do it. In that second, everything changes. They aren't in a boring office anymore. They're building a new world. We get Blockbuster.com, powered by Netflix. Mark and Reed are rich, and their dream finally has the money it needs. The Blockbuster library goes online. No more late fees. It's huge. The stores change too. They become hubs for picking up online orders, or digital lounges where you can demo streaming gadgets. You'd see Netflix kiosks in every store. Rent a movie online. Drop it off at the store on your way to work. It's the perfect hybrid. Blockbuster stock goes through the roof. But there's a problem. Blockbuster's bosses, they love those late fees. Reed tries to kill them, but the suits in Dallas say no. They're even scared of streaming. Why? Because if you watch a movie at home, you aren't coming into the store to buy a $5 bucket of popcorn. Instead, they launch a clunky pay-per-view service. It's expensive, it's slow, and it protects the stores instead of the future. Then, the 2008 recession hits. Blockbuster is still paying for 9,000 expensive stores. Because they own Netflix, there is no pure competitor to force them to be better. People are broke. They want cheap movies. But because the stores came first, we never get House of Cards or Stranger Things. Blockbuster just stays as a middleman for Hollywood. But that's not what actually happened. Back in that room in Dallas, John Antioco didn't say yes. He looked at these two guys from California and just laughed at them. He told them the internet was a fad. The meeting ended fast. Mark and Reed flew home, and the plane ride was dead silent. Blockbuster eventually tried to fight back in 2004 with total access, and they were actually doing pretty well. Reed Hastings even admitted he was terrified, but Blockbuster had a huge problem. They were $1 billion in debt. When the 2008 crash happened, the banks freaked out. They wouldn't give Blockbuster another cent, even though they were still making a profit. They were stuck. No money meant no new movies for the stores. Empty shelves meant no customers. It was a death spiral. The giant didn't die because they were dumb. They died because they had too much debt and were just too slow to move. Blockbuster went bankrupt in 2010. The story of Netflix and Blockbuster isn't just about tech. It's a lesson in how to run a business. From Mark, we learn nobody knows anything. You have to test your ideas and see if they work. From Reed, we learn context, not control. Build a team that's free to do great work. From Blockbuster, we learn about the danger of hubris, basically being too proud. They underestimated the small guys and got stuck with a bill they couldn't pay. Blockbuster wasn't stupid. They were trapped by their own success. They say the ghost of Blockbuster haunts every big company today. It's a reminder that your past isn't just your history. It can be the tool that builds your future, or the blinders that make you miss it. The next big idea isn't in some fancy boardroom. It's out there right now, waiting for someone to test it. So, what do you think? Did Blockbuster make the biggest mistake in history? Or was that what-if world actually going to be worse? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this, Do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And if you're interested in more deals that almost changed the world, you've got to check out my video on how Tesla almost sold themselves to Google. Click right here to watch that one. Share this with anyone who loves a good story. This is Flipside Gambit, and I'll see you in the next one.